Hello everyone. What If We're Wrong by Chuck Klosterman. Now, I've read some of Klosterman's work before, in particular Sex, Drugs, and Cocoa Puffs. And for this one I decided to go with the audiobook version, mostly because I feel like there's some parts, when it comes to Klosterman's writing, there's some parts that do tend to drag on a little bit. But overall, I mean, he definitely has a lot of very profound insights into pop culture and society in general. So in this one, he poses a lot of philosophical questions, such as, does time really exist, or more actually to the point, maybe we're wrong about our understanding of time. Another question he poses is, how will today's rock music be remembered 500 years from now? Another question he poses is, will sports, I assume he meant all sports really, but will sports essentially completely lose its popularity? Another, I would say one of the most profound questions that he poses is, have we already reached the point where we already know everything, or rather, have we already reached the point, or are we close to reaching the point at which there's nothing more to learn? And so of course I will say, and naturally I don't agree with everything that Klosterman poses in his book and audiobook. The audiobook, by the way, is read by Fiona Hardingham. She's an award-winning actress and audiobook narrator. There's a picture of her on the back here. Right there. There's a picture of Klosterman too. Of course, right there. But yeah, it was a nice change of pace for me. Like I said, because I feel Klosterman's work sometimes tends to drag on in certain parts. And I liked hearing Fiona Hardingham read with her, cool British accent. And I tend to like most British accents, or any European accent, really. But I did enjoy the first half, especially because it got me really thinking. One thing I liked, eventually kind of towards the middle, he talks about the fact that there's a new theory that more and more scientists are actually leaning towards, and that's the theory that all of reality, or rather all of existence as we know it, could in fact be some kind of highly advanced organic simulation. And now, I mean, I guess if you never considered this before, I guess the best example would be to compare it to the Matrix movies, the whole thing about reality being just this program created by something or someone else, or some other kind of much more technologically advanced entity or something like that. And of course he does mention the Matrix as well. He compares this theory of simulated reality to the Matrix, and it's really a very good and thorough comparison. Now, of course, the main reason why I guess you said that a lot more scientists are leaning towards this theory is mostly because mathematically it makes sense. And I guess by that he means that when it comes to figuring out why it seems like just as much good stuff happens, or rather why it seems like there's an equal amount of good stuff and bad stuff that occurs within our reality. There's a lot of scientists who, I guess, have been able to figure out why that is mathematically. And that's why they say mathematically it makes sense, because they're able to apply certain formulas. Now, of course, he doesn't really go into great detail as to what formulas they use, but of course, he is more concerned with just the fact that so many scientists agree that mathematically it would make sense. Because in a simulation would, especially a highly advanced simulation, would have to allow for multiple possibilities to occur. And so I guess because of that, mathematically it makes sense, because it'd be like, I'm trying to think what way to describe it. Say like when you're driving in your car, you decide to turn right. Whereas normally, most of the time you're used to turning left, but this one particular day you decide to turn right. So on this day that you decide to turn right, say you accidentally run over a stop sign or a traffic cone or something like that, and it impairs your vehicle somehow, whereas if you hadn't turned right and you just turned left like you always did, that wouldn't have happened. And of course, all these things apply to, there's so many different versions, and that's where the theory of parallel universes also comes into play. And that's another reason why I guess a lot of scientists are leaning towards this theory, because it would also explain the theory of parallel universes, where there's an infinite amount of other universes that exist. Like, in other words, another version of me, another version of you, another version of everyone, slightly different or completely different. In a simulation, of course, this would make sense, because it would be yet another possibility to allow to occur within a simulation. I don't know how else to explain it other than that. But overall, I give this definitely 4 out of 5 stars. The one thing I didn't like was the part in which he speculates on the future of sports. I mean, I'm not really a big sports guy, so I really don't care that much about sports in general, let alone the future of sports. But maybe if you happen to be a big sports fan, then you might like that part. So that's why 4 out of 5 stars. And if you're interested in reading a slightly more thorough review of this, I'll provide a link to my written review of it down below. So there you go, 4 out of 5 stars for But What If We're Wrong by Chuck Klosterman, audiobook. So that'll do it for this review. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks to everybody who's currently subscribed. I do appreciate it. And until next time, keep it real, keep on rocking, and peace.